jumping straight into some of the recipes that we've been having this week for our iftars. First of all, I made pakoreh. The ingredients were spinach, cauliflower, potato and onion. You can also have things like aubergine and courgette in there as well. So what you want to do is chop up those ingredients and get them all into a big bowl ready for mixing. You want to chop them quite thin, quite small, but not too small that they'll just crumble away, so that they can stick together when you make the mixture. So yeah, after chopping the ingredients up, having them all in one big bowl, you can add your spices such as turmeric, masala, cumin powder. You can add chili powder if you want to, which I didn't because the kids were going to be having them as well. Fenugreek, salt, pepper, and just give that a good mix. You're going to need gram flour for this, and with the gram flour you really want to just be pouring in a little bit at a time, gradually mixing with the water, really kneading it with your hands until you get the right consistency. So I added the gram flour quite a few times and a lot more water as well, and in the end you want to be able to lift up a pile and for it to sort of mould into your hands a little bit and not just slip away. So not be too dry and not be too wet essentially. And then that's it, they're ready to go off and fry, and they taste absolutely delicious fresh. A really nice dish to share with others or take to an iftar, which we did, I think it was on Monday we did that. We took these with us to a friend's house to eat over there. And yeah, really lovely dish to eat. You could also do these in the air fryer, I think, or perhaps in the oven, I'm not sure. But they do taste best fried. Okay, next I am preparing to make kısır, which is a Turkish salad type dish made with light bulgur wheat. So the first thing you've got to do is just chop up all those ingredients. It's really good for finishing off what's in the fridge. So I'm chopping up cucumber here, pepper, grated carrot, tomatoes. I always put beetroot into my kısır because I just can't eat my kısır without it now. It really goes well, adds a nice tang to the kısır. So you just finely chop those up into a bowl, mixing it all together. So you're getting all your salad ingredients ready first. Whilst I'm doing this, I've actually got my light bulgur wheat soaking in some water, hot water, boiling water. So for every cup of bulgur wheat, light bulgur wheat, 3/4 of that cup will be the amount of water that you use. 1 cup goes a very long way, so bear that in mind. You can add things like lettuce, fresh mint leaves, parsley, anything that you've got in the fridge that you want to sort of use, you can normally throw into there. Right, so once your light bulgur wheat has been soaking in that hot water for at least half an hour or so, you can go ahead and mix it all up. You want to mix it really well so that all the grains sort of aren't stuck to each other, they're all separated. And then you can add a big chunk of tomato paste and a big spoon of pepper paste. And you really want to mix that up really well so all of the grains of the light bulgur wheat are covered. So I do spend a good amount of time mixing that up really well. Then you can add your lemon juice. I always like to add a whole lemon, sometimes 2 lemons, just because it really adds a lovely fresh tang to the kısır. Also a drizzle of olive oil. I do recommend only just a drizzle of olive oil, personally, depending on how you like it. I don't like to put too much olive oil because otherwise it can get a bit soggy, the kısır, so you don't want it to get too soggy. Then you add the spices, so salt, dried mint, sumac and pepper, and you can also add red hot pepper as well. But I didn't do that because the kids were going to be having it as well. And I also added a generous serving of pomegranate molasses. And then you just mix that all up. And then you mix up your salad again, just in case it hasn't been mixed well already. And that's it. You add it all together. And it's a lovely dish for the table. Again, a really nice dish to serve for neighbours or others, or take with you somewhere. It's a really good party dish. And just always complements a meal, to be honest. It's so refreshing and nice. I had a lot of chickpeas, so I decided to go ahead and make some meals with chickpeas this last week. So I made a big batch of hummus, which I didn't record. And here I'm just peeling off some cassava because I've still got to feed the kids during the day. So they had some boiled cassava with, I think it was with eggs that day. So I was just preparing that for them to eat. It's really lovely, healthy, potato-like substance. So, right, now I'm starting my Bulgur Pilavi dish, which is from Refika's kitchen. I can tag her below, she's absolutely amazing. So I can't really take any credit for any of these recipes, really. They're just, I mean, the custard is something that I've sort of grown and learned. But yeah, I'll share the recipe anyway, but it is from Refika's kitchen. And she gets those onions going and then adds the garlic a little bit after, once the onions have cooked for a little. You really get that sizzle in, and they should be cooking in a bit of olive oil and butter. Then you add your tomato paste, a generous tablespoon of tomato and pepper paste, and mix that all up really well. You want it to really marinate into the olive oil, into the onions, olive oil, butter and garlic. I used about 4 or 5 cloves of garlic. I really like it to be quite garlicky. Then you get 1 or 2 cups of, this is now, what I'm using here is coarse bulgur wheat, so not the fine bulgur wheat, just the standard bulgur wheat that is much coarser than the fine bulgur wheat that I use for the custard. And you mix that all up into the juices of the pastes, and then that's not cheese. I've added some grated carrot, 1 grated carrot if it's just a normal size, not too much but not too little. Mix that up and add your chickpeas. I used fresh chickpeas that I'd soaked overnight and then boiled on the gas, but you can use a tin of chickpeas as well. Mix that all up, and then the spices. You need to add dried mint, a generous amount of dried mint. Dried mint, pepper, salt. You can add hot pepper as well, red pepper, but I didn't. And mix that all up, and it really, the mint especially adds to that flavour so much. Give that a good mix. Have your water kettle boiling, ready to add some water shortly. And yeah, you just cover it so the water's a bit over the dish, because it does soak up a lot. Add a little lob of butter and let that cook, and it's ready. It'll be ready after probably about 10 to 15 minutes. Give that a good stir and let that set, and it is absolutely delicious. And we always serve it with a dollop of yogurt and pickles, and you can pour the pickle juice over your bulgur, and it's delicious. So next up, I'm making a chaat. So this is something that my kids really love. What you do is you chop up your potato into cubes and boil that on the gas with some salt and turmeric until soft, and then I'm now transferring that over into a tub. Then you mix in the chickpeas. Those are the chickpeas that I'd already boiled earlier. And it's such a simple dish, but so refreshing, so delicious. And again, just similar to the custard, whatever you've got in the fridge, tomatoes, cucumber, chop it up and add it into your chaat. I normally just stick to chickpeas, potato, tomato and cucumber and coriander. That day I only had parsley, so I used parsley, I think I did. And I also added some fresh mint leaves, but it does probably taste best with the coriander. as it is an Indian dish. Give that a good mix. Add 1 lemon juice just to give it a good tang. You can use a lime as well. And then you go ahead and add your spices, salt. You can use chaat masala, fenugreek powder, cumin a little bit, and give that a good mix. And then you add your tamarind sauce. And I'm quite generous with the tamarind sauce. And that is it. It is so refreshing, so delicious. My kids love it. It's a really nice way of getting, raw onions into their system as well, and fresh ingredients. We serve it with yogurt, homemade yogurt, and a generous amount of pomegranates on top as well. It's absolutely delicious. We actually had guests that evening, so it was really nice to prepare it for them, but we also served it to our children a little bit earlier because they ate earlier that day.